So I'm Amber Hall, and I started Equator Coffee Roaster primarily with my husband. It was his brainchild. Equator began as an idea to decide to make a difference for small coffee farmers. Working first of all with very ethical sourcing for our coffee. So we buy our coffee directly from the coffee farmers, cut out the middlemen so there's not a broker. We are a cooperative of about 25 different members in North America. We're supporting cooperative coffees. They also have an organization called On the Ground that works in different countries. Right now working in the Congo with democratic issues for women, and so we are supporting that initiative. Back in 2010 we started supporting a local charity called Schoolbox. We only do fair trade coffee. We're equating the benefit that we're giving to the farmers with the benefit we give to our customers. We get to have this really great fresh product. And our staff, we want to create an environment where our staff are really valued and important, so everybody's equal in the equation. We produce somewhere in the range of 2,500 pounds of coffee every week. We're roasting at a capacity of 3 days a week. Coffee is actually the pit of a cherry. It grows on, I would call them more like bushes, but they're never more than the height of sort of a person with their arm outstretched. And that's really important because it's a hand-picked product. You'll have one branch that'll have green cherries, some yellow cherries, some red cherries, but only the red cherries are meant to be picked at any given point. So a hand and eye is really important for selecting the right cherries. The roaster, it only takes about between 12 and 17 minutes, depending on whether it's a light roast or a dark roast or even a French roast. During the roasting process, there's oils that are coming out of the bean, there's caramelization of the sugars that's happening, and all of the different chemical components of the bean. It's also grown at really high altitude, typically like mountainous terrain. So to go through with machinery is just not possible. So it's done by hand and also under the shade of various types of trees. It might be banana trees, avocado, citrus. Whatever tree is growing over that coffee also affects what it's going to taste like. So if an orange falls onto the soil and decomposes, then your coffee could end up with really citrusy notes. It'll be very different tasting depending on first the altitude, the acidity of the soil, and then the shade that it's grown under. But there are people in the world who have begun to do that. So they cut down rainforests, they put it on fields. It's not meant to grow naturally. They use all kinds of pesticides, chemicals to force it to harvest at the same time so that a machine can pick it. And then coffee's become the most heavily sprayed food product on the planet. We at Equator, we work only with the small scale farmers that are continuing to do it in the organic methods. So no pesticides, no chemicals, and doing it by hand still so that there's not the impact on the environment or the impact on them and their families for having to come in contact with those chemicals. We sell not only to our own cafes, we have a cafe also in Westboro, but we sell to other cafes, restaurants, grocery stores, bulk food stores, and have a really great fundraising program. We have, I think it's around 7 or 8 blends of coffee. Some of them are medium roast, some are dark roast. In the industry now, people want a variety of coffee. So if we were to work just with our own resources, we could probably go to 1, maybe 2 countries and bring in a full container of coffee, but people want to have coffee from lots of different countries. We also do single origin coffees on a seasonal basis. So we have their Ethiopian dark coffee all the time, but then during certain times we'll have Ethiopian medium, which is the one we've got right now. It's actually a light roast, very, very sugary, fruity. The next one that we're offering is Colombian. Previously we had Rwandan. Our Equator globe logo has kind of morphed over time. At one point it was much more notched and rough edges. The equator is still placed right around the equator, and that's significant because all coffee grows right around the equator in different countries that loop around the world like that.